Part 3, it says find the equation of the line which passes through the midpoint of AB. So I've drawn a sketch of what's going on. Midpoint of AB. So we want a line that goes through that line and that is perpendicular to that line. So we're aiming for the equation of this line here, where they meet at right angles. So how are we going to do that? Well, we need to know two things. Again, just like we did in part 1, we need to know a point on the line, and we know that that's going to be the midpoint, and we need to know the gradient of this line. We can find the gradient of that line if we know the gradient of line A to B. So let's find the gradient of line A to B. And to find the gradient of a line, we need to do the difference in the y coordinates, so y2 minus y1, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's minus 9 over minus 3, which is positive 3. The reason I wanted to know that is because the gradient of our red line is perpendicular to it, so its gradient for the line that we want is going to be, so that's the gradient of the red line, is going to be the negative reciprocal of 3, so that's negative 1/3. So we've got the gradient sorted. We also need to know this midpoint value, and to find the midpoint of a line of 2 points, we average the coordinates. So we average the x's and we average the y's. In other words, we add them up and divide by 2. So if I call this point C, C is going to be 2 minus 1 over 2 and 7 minus 2 over 2, which is a half and 5 halves. Notice I'm keeping them as top-heavy fractions. It's much easier to work in top-heavy fractions. So that's going to be y minus 5 over 2 equals minus 1/3 times by x minus a half. Now the question wants the answer in this form, where a, b and c are integers, so we're going to have to get rid of all these fractions. So if we times by 3, that's going to give me 3y minus 15 over 2 equals minus x minus a half, which is the same as minus x plus a half. I'm going to have positive x plus 3y, take 15 over 2, take away another half, equals 0. And these two can combine together to give me minus 16 over 2 equals 0, which is minus 8. So we've got x plus 3y minus 8 equals 0. You're allowed this, but you're also allowed multiples of this. So if you've got like 2x plus 6y minus 16 equals 0, that's correct too.